Suns post-game show. The Phoenix Suns defeat the Chicago Bulls 116-115. And we got a little bit of bonus basketball that I don't think anybody asked for or wanted specifically, but at least
always want bonus
we got
basketball.
the W. You did not enjoy that bonus basketball.
I really enjoyed everything about that game.
You are such a liar.
It was fantastic.
You did not enjoy that bonus basketball.
I just thought, this is... it's not peak NBA basketball, but it was pretty close.
Oh, my God. You lie through your teeth.
Sorry. You guys should have seen these guys freaking out all game long, all over Nurkic's back.
Oh, my God.
I was just
okay.
Listen, I was just yeah, it was awesome. Yeah. It was a beautiful night tonight.
Don't
held it down.
Don't. He's trying to bait you into yelling at him when we all know deep down inside that Saul is the Nurk
was
hater.
Awesome.
And me and Espo are big fans of Nurk.
Allen was amazing. I called it before the game. I said the Suns would win by 1. They did. I don't know what's not to like tonight.
Well, for one, we could talk about...
I'm just glad I don't have to see your feet tonight.
You're so full of it. For one thing we could talk about that I did not like in tonight's game was somebody please explain the math to me about how 0.1 second came off the clock on an inbound at the end of the game.
Yeah, that whole...
Can somebody please make that make sense?
It's hometown clock running. That's what it is.
Okay, but that's excessive.
Oh, I'm not going to disagree, but that's what happens. When you're at home, that clock runner takes a hell of a long time to start that clock, and that's just the way it is. It would have happened the same way if it was reversed. And it's crap, but that's what happens when you have the human element in that, and one guy is paid employee by the team that's playing at home, right? That's the reality. And it would have been a hell of a lot worse if Zach LaVine had timed that jump right. That was way too close. Everybody in the chat said, Bull had great defense. No, that pass was still online.
Okay, let's go back, okay? Let's go back to the first Nurkic free throw at the end of the game.
Yeah, I should have made it.
And he missed it, and Espo goes, oh, that's awesome. I'm like, no, it's not fucking awesome, dude.
We'll get to why it was awesome
Oh,
later
my God. Yeah, he was like, it's awesome. I was like, no, it's not awesome, guy, because now they have a timeout, and they could get a lob. And that's exactly what happened. That was a bad pass.
To be fair, he was saying it was awesome because it would help me win a bet and Flex lose a bet. Not awesome in context of the game. Awesome that it was still a possibility.
What's the priority here?
Someone so misrepresenting us in so many ways tonight.
Some stupid little bet or the Suns getting the dub?
Obviously, the Suns getting the dub, but if you can get both,
but what was my reaction
better.
in the moment? I was like, dude, that's not cool.
I was well aware of the situation.
Was he?
Yes.
Was he though, Jacob?
Yes, Saul. Yes. I'm well aware. I'm well aware of the situation. And that freaking lob was way closer than it should have been.
Only because it was Zach LaVine.
But nobody steps in Zach LaVine's way. He starts at the 3-point line, comes all the way around, and gets to that rim, no problem. If he times that jump right, or Alex Caruso sends it slightly lower, we're having a much different post game than we are right
and see,
now.
The thing that I don't like about this is that that's our thing. So I don't ever like a scenario where our thing can be used against us.
What's our thing?
The Valley Oop. That's our thing. That's mine. I don't care where it started. I don't care who did it first. It is mine now, okay? I don't care. It's ours. And so do not Phoenix Suns, please, for the love of God, do not put yourself in that situation ever again.
It would have been
I don't like it.
It would have been the Chi-Town throwdown. It would not have been the Valley Oop anymore.
It's the Valley Oop, and it will always be the Valley Oop in my heart, no matter what. And I don't want another team using it against my Suns. Okay, that's just how I feel about it.
That's cool.
I am so glad he didn't dunk that ball.
It would have been
I would have
really
lost
bad.
my ever-loving mind with that.
But here's the thing. There's a couple of reasons why the Suns were found themselves into this situation in the first place. And I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer, but turnovers were a big one. They're getting brought up in the chat quite a bit. Like the turnovers tonight for the Phoenix Suns, the turnovers all season for the Phoenix Suns have been really, really bad. And the worst part about it is that a lot of them, especially in this one, were self-inflicted.
Mm-hmm.
Like just bad, lazy passes, like things you could have avoided.
Between Kevin Durant and Jusuf Nurkic, I am about done with the sloppy, lazy kind of turnovers.
Yeah.
For Durant, it's mostly off the dribble. Every now and then he'll have a bad pass. Nurk is just like sometimes both of them just have this bleh, they just kind of throw the ball or just kind of half-ass a pass. Give me some goddamn crisp passes for once, please, both of you. Especially down the stretch, Nurk had a couple opportunities that I was getting on his ass about. That we're in under 2 minutes. You got to take care of the ball, and he's throwing the ball all over the place. Like, dude, not right now. So yeah, and this has been a theme all season. Turnovers have been an Achilles heel for this team. It was an Achilles heel last year at times, especially without Chris Paul on the floor. It was just not pretty. Like, it's got to get shored up because this is going to be problematic if it's just something the Suns do game in and game out, and I hope it's not.
21 turnovers.
That's too much.
21 turnovers.
8th grade basketball teams don't even have 21 turnovers in a game.
12 of them coming from, like you said, KD and Jusuf Nurkic. 18 of them coming from a combined Durant, Nurkic, Watanabe, and Eric Gordon. Mm-hmm. I get it. Part of it's a byproduct of Bradley Beal just getting back, Devin Booker not being out there, and those guys being your primary ball handlers. But all the more reason to protect the freaking ball because you don't have those guys out there. Like 21 turnovers is unacceptable at any level of basketball, like Saul's saying. And that's why this game was close. This game early on was double digits in the Suns' favor, 18 at one point in the Suns' favor.
It was 12 in the third.
Yeah, and you can't turn the ball over because it's free opportunities for your opponent. And it doesn't matter how well you're shooting or if you hit more three-pointers. If they have the ball more often, they're going to have a better chance at winning the game. I mean, it's math. They had 6 more shots than the Suns tonight. 6 more opportunities, and that's why this game goes to overtime and why it's only a 1-point win for the Suns. And yeah, a win's a win's a win. You're 500 again. But this is not the kind of evening that strikes a whole lot of confidence. When in the first you see the offense, you go, maybe things are finally the way we thought they might be.
Yeah, and also, like, there's a couple truths that can happen. KD is a phenomenal basketball player. KD had some sloppy turnovers.
Yes.
That does, like, we could point out some of the flaws of some of these players without saying that they're a terrible guy. Like, stop with that nonsense. Also, like, that last 3 minutes of basketball on both sides might have been the most horrendous 3 minutes of basketball to end a game ever. Neither side could get a bucket. Every side was turning the ball over. Sloppy shots. Just it was not pretty basketball in the last 3. The first 45, pristine. The last 3, awful.
You sure you
You're
weren't
talking about like regulation?
Yes,
Okay.
regulation. My bad.
You sure you weren't watching that ASU game that was on the other screen?
The ASU game was awful from beginning to
Okay,
end.
but also I do think there might be not just okay. I want to bring this up because we're getting a lot of comments around like needing a point guard. So I'll read a couple of these super chats. Gordon sent us one. Thank you, Gordon. Said need an actual point guard. Such an ugly game. JT, thank you for your super chat, sent us one and said, sorry, but I think turnovers are going to be a problem because we don't have a ball handler. Go and get TJ McConnell. So in that final 3 minutes of the game, was Bradley Beal in there or had he come out already?
He was in there.
Yeah.
But he didn't play overtime, right?
No, he didn't play
not.
overtime.
So let's talk a little bit about Bradley Beal because a lot of people in certain situations, he's going to be our quote unquote point guard.
Sure.
Devin will also be that when he returns. But for now, Bradley Beal, it was his first game back. Like, I'll give him some time to be able to hopefully help calm those type of situations later on in the season. But I was pleasantly surprised, but surprised nonetheless, that he did not play in overtime in this game, that they had a minutes restriction. Frank Vogel didn't tell us specifically what it was before the game, but clearly he hit it. We didn't see him at all in overtime.
Yeah, apparently it was 24.
Yeah.
That's what he finished with.
Apparently.
Look, you saw flashes of what Bradley Beal can do in terms of passing tonight. There were some very nice passes, 4 assists. Yeah, he had the 2 turnovers. But, down the stretch, I'm sure some of it was fatigue too. If you haven't played ball since preseason, of course, that's going to come in as a factor. So maybe he wasn't that calming influence. But, I mean, Eric Gordon didn't look good out there in that position. Jordan Goodwin didn't. Like, there's a lot of factors in this, but I think you look at Bradley Beal and you, okay, I see where he can help with this. And then obviously, you do kind of have a really great ball handler in Devin Booker that'll be back soon as well. And that should fix some of it too.
So my problem and my issue is that there were times where the other guys brought the ball over half court and they didn't turn the ball over. They were trying to get KD in a mismatch, and they kept running the pick and roll with Nurkic with KD, and KD was then matched up on Alex Caruso, could not take advantage of it. Nurk had trouble taking advantage on the roll against Vucevic. So, like, even if you had TJ McConnell or you had Chris Paul still or whatever, like, they're still setting it up that way. Like, they're gonna go to KD to try and end the game. Like, that's what they're going to do until Booker comes back. Like, it's going to be KD. So it doesn't matter what our point guard situation is in that moment. It's always going to be KD. And so, and they just weren't good enough they were not executing at a high enough level on the pick and roll to set each other up in order to take advantage of the mismatch. Because in theory, you should be able to take advantage of Alex Caruso if you're KD. But there was plenty of times, and Caruso, I'll give him credit. He's a good defender. He's pushing KD off of his choice spots, just an extra foot wide here and there, forcing him baseline. So that's the best opportunity you have to stop KD, is make sure that he turns baseline instead of towards the rim. And that's how it kind of unfolded. And I don't think a point guard solves that problem.
No, but I think Bradley Beal at full health, feeling better, Booker out there, obviously, like you said, those things alleviate it, because now it's not just, hey, it's KD in that ISO.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now you're like, okay, Caruso can guard KD, but who's on Beal, and stuff.
And to your point, I thought we were going to see a couple opportunities like that where they kind of maybe went 1-4 ISO, because Bradley Beal is as good of a one-on-one basketball player as you'll find in the NBA. And for whatever reason, they didn't do that.
Well,
I'm
I
sure
think
that's
to do with his first game back.
Well,
They're
yeah,
we already know there's going to be a little bit of a.
But at least one possession right there in the last 3 minutes, you would have liked to seen that at least once to see if maybe he could take advantage of his guy. They never really got to it. They deferred to KD. He deferred to KD. Because I'm sure he was gassed or he was tired or whatever. I'm not holding that against him at all.
No.
But in the future, you will start to see that a little bit more. And KD will tell him, hey, man, you got the fucking mismatch. You got to go. Like, don't defer to me. Go.
Well, I think some of it tonight, too, was, I mean, the only thing that Beal hit was 3 3-pointers, just 3 of 12. Couldn't hit anything beyond that. So maybe that's why they don't go to ISO there, because he just wasn't effective tonight. But yeah, I think once he gets it going, that's definitely a way you're going to go. And it's very different too. Like we said, Booker changes a lot of this too.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
I mean, the Bulls were positioning themselves to make sure that the weaker 3-point shooters were in the corner. That's why KBD was open a couple times in that corner. Now, luckily in overtime, he came through big time probably the biggest shot of the game, to be honest with you, with that three in the corner. But there was a couple possessions beforehand where he had that opportunity. One of them, he took it to the rim, and Nurkic got the moving screen foul. Another one, he missed the three-point play or a three-point shot. So the Bulls were trying to position the weaker of the three-point shooters in that corner, because outside of that, everybody else was, Grayson Allen was on fire tonight. He was fantastic. And, you don't know what you're going to get with Beal, but he did hit those 3 threes. Eric Gordon is really the biggest disappointment, but I'm sure we'll get to that in a second.
They kind of shut down Grayson, though, in that late in that game. You didn't see a whole lot of opportunities for him. And I don't know if that was a byproduct of just what the Suns started running and they just heavily focused KD, or if it was what the Bulls were trying to take away. But you didn't see him in either end of the game or end of overtime get involved a lot, and that seems like a big miss when the guy shoots as well as he did, 9 of 16 tonight. You think at least in one of those opportunities you're doing anything you can to get him a shot, but that wasn't the case. So.
We'll definitely talk more about Grayson Allen and a bunch of guys on this Suns team here in just a minute, but first, we do have a comment in the chat that I have to bring up. We're happy to have you guys all here. Flex from Jersey had to miss tonight's show, but he is still in the chat. And he wanted us to know, specifically me, he said, Lindsay, I got to go to bed. My doctor said I have to get more sleep due to my advanced age, and those close games are bad for my heart. AARP stuff. If you are not in on the inside joke there, go back and watch yesterday's show. We were having a lot of fun giving Flex a little bit of grief there. But here's the thing. If you are not super old, or if you are super old, the casino is the best place for you. Like, it's the best thing is because anybody can go to a casino and you fit right in.
This is true.
You could be 21 years old, perfect situation for you. You could be 80 years old, also the perfect situation for you. The casino, it's inclusive for everybody. And Gila River and resorts and casinos, no one does it better than the guys over there. You'll be high rolling, fine dining, lounging poolside, living large when you are at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. So belly on up and let them show you what the next level is all about. You do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit playatgila.com for more details. Also, Four Peaks is great if you are 21 and older. And if you want to get your hands on some of the pumpkin porter that Four Peaks puts out, you need to do that sooner rather than later, because pumpkin porter season is almost gone, you guys. Don't miss out on it. You can visit fourpeaks.com/locator to find all your favorite brewery tours and events as well. And you can also check them out on social at Four Peaks Brew or at Four Peaks Pub to keep up with the latest. At Arizona's hometown brewery, you do have to be 21 years or older to drink Four Peaks, and we ask that you please drink responsibly.
Max, we need more pumpkin porter before it's gone. Go get us a refill.
It's actually all gone.
Seriously.
No, I meant at the brewery. I know it's gone here.
Yeah, it flies off the shelves here. Like, you can't. Everyone, when we first hit pumpkin porter season, everyone was like messaging each other, somebody save me a pumpkin porter. Please, somebody save me one.
It's because it's the best.
I believe Larry Legend was at the game today. Is that the one that was on Twitter? I believe he was at.
So.
Larry Lewis.
Oh, that was
That's
Larry
who you're talking
Lewis.
about? Yeah, Larry Lewis.
My bad. That's not Larry Legend.
No.
All right. Disregard.
Larry Lewis was at the game tonight, which was really cool. We do have a couple super chats that I want to read. Rusty sent us one. Thank you so much, Rusty. Said, too early in the season to be this clenched. Ugly. I mean, honestly, I don't blame you. I am kind of over like games like this. I am going to be patient and give the guys as much time as they need, but I'm over it. I am.
Yeah. Can we just have one, like, I know we got the Jazz game, that home opener. Could we just have one where it's just an ass kicking for us and we can just be like, hey, that was fun. It's
just like one of those games that feels good from start to finish.
That was fun.
The Pistons game wasn't really dramatic.
No, but I want doors blown off, offenses whipping around.
Yeah.
You know, all these bowl stands get a good 8 minutes so they can stop being bowl stands. You know, the good stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I get you. Psycho Blue sent us a super chat, said, if that last second wasn't proof that the basketball gods are scared of Phoenix winning in clutch time, what is?
True.
I mean, you're not wrong.
I'm not saying anything about the basketball gods ever again.
Yeah. I don't know how to say Maggle Tiger. Is that how we're going with this one?
Yeah.
Maggle Tiger, thank you for your super chat. Said, I think Beal just needs to shake off the rust.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
I'm not worried about
Definitely have to give Bradley Beal a little bit of time to get his legs underneath him, to get back into game shape. Because game shape is one of the biggest things that we've talked about. Eddie Johnson has brought it up multiple times on your guys' show. Like, there is nothing that compares to being in game shape. There's nothing you can do outside of playing NBA level basketball games to get into NBA level game shape.
For sure.
It just is what it is. And then we have one from Arizona 88 said, sent us $20. So thank you for that one. Said, can y'all invite Devin Booker to the show?
He's been invited.
It's
He just hasn't
literally
accepted
an open invitation for Book. It's just a matter of him saying yes. Listen,
we'll say it like this: we're not saying no.
Yeah, definitely. But Book is a little bit different than when he was throwing lobs to Espo a couple years ago. So I get it.
I'm sure he doesn't even remember.
For sure.
Guys, guess what?
Let's do it.
It's time.
Yeah.
Time to go to the boom room, baby. Let's go. Boom room. K-Ray's in the house. K-Ray, what's up, baby?
How we doing, guys? It's just a heads up. It might be an abbreviated visit because we're trying to rush to the buses and get out of town. Stealing a win.
All good.
Time to go wheels up.
we'll keep it brief. What were your overall impressions in Bradley Beal's first game back?
Well, very impressive. And look, Brad brought all the things to the table that I think we all thought he would. To knock down those 2 early shots was huge. Certainly confidence building for him, and just confidence in the sense of his body and being back on the floor. This is not a guy that necessarily needs confidence in how to play the game, but being on the floor in the regular season game with his new teammates and everything. And he made difference-making plays. And, as it turns out, the Suns needed every one of his difference-making plays along with everybody else.
Hey, when you get on the bus, can you do me a favor and slap EJ in the back of the head for saying that, point one, it's impossible to do anything. That got too damn close to being possible there.
Yeah.
Well, they just showed what is possible with point one. Yeah, it happened just to our right, and the ball sailed over his head. So when we replayed at that other angle, you could get a better perspective of just like, had that pass been on the money? Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit
far
scary
too close.
There. Too close for comfort. K-Ray, just real quick, I want to let you have an opportunity to give Grayson Allen some flowers tonight. We haven't talked about him yet on the program, but we're going to.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, let me tell you, this guy, without his career-high 8 3-pointers, the Suns don't win this game. You're seeing a situation now, Grayson Allen really, and EJ brought it up a few times, really understanding, what it's like to play with Kevin Durant. And he's got the spacing, and I think that's only going to continue to get better. But, a lot of the things, and we've pointed it out a few times already, but I don't think Suns fans and even some NBA fans really appreciate about Grayson's game. Yes, he hit a bunch of 3-pointers, took a bunch of 3-pointers tonight. But this is a guy that still does all the fundamental stuff. Had a couple of great defensive stops there in the fourth quarter and overtime. So becoming a real well-rounded player and having a better understanding of playing with this new group he's with.
K-Ray, we'll let you get to it. We appreciate you stopping by the boom room, baby.
Always better to be in the boom room after a W, folks.
Safe travels, K-Ray.
We'll see you.
Thanks, guys.
Kevin Ray, of course, broadcaster for the Phoenix Suns. Y'all should be familiar with his face, but just in case you're not, I know you only get to see it towards the beginning of the show and then occasionally throughout, but you're familiar with the voice at the very least.
Yeah, he's the guy that has to put up with EJ all the days that Saul doesn't. So.
All right, so we were talking to K-Ray a little bit. He brought up Grayson Allen and just the performance he had in tonight's game. Listen, before we talk about Grayson Allen, let's just look at some numbers from tonight's game. Espo, I know 3-point shooting is in the box tonight. Am I right?
Yeah. It was the difference. Was that one? Oops, I said that the other night. No, but actually tonight
it actually was the difference.
The difference. Suns were 19 of 48. Bulls 14 of 33. Obviously, Bulls shoot a higher percentage, but the Suns made more of them, and that's where you saw the difference here tonight beyond the arc. That's how when you have more turnovers, you give up more shots, you actually can make up the difference. The Suns were great on the boards, 53 rebounds to 38 for the Bulls. Those turnovers, though, Suns have 22 to the Bulls, 14. I believe it was 21. And then 9 blocks for the Suns, 7 for the Bulls. And KBD adding in with those blocks tonight. He was pretty good early on in that game.
Yeah, we're gonna get to him and Nurk here in a little bit. But listen, I thought the turnovers continue to be the equalizer. Mm-hmm. I think we all can see that this team is better than most. But when you turn the ball over like that in the NBA, you leave teams in it. And EJ was talking about that as well. Like, you keep giving teams opportunities, they start to find their groove, and it's going to cost you. And that's why we went to overtime in the first place. You can't have 22 turnovers in the NBA. You just can't. You always want to be below that 12 mark. And even 12 sometimes, depending on the matchup, can be a little too sloppy. So they got to shore that up. I'm sure they will. It is an area of concern.
Yes.
Well, I mean, think about it. 5 or 6 fewer turnovers. You had a game, Kevin Durant, 25 points, 9 assists, 6 rebounds. Nurk, 20 points, 17 rebounds, 8 assists. Grayson Allen, 26 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists. This game should not have been a one-point game. There is no reason it should have been.
3 guys with all-around performances like that, scoring in the mid-20s or higher, and it's just got to be a little bit better. So hopefully they'll clean it up, and I'm sure they will.
Absolutely. But thankfully, we had pretty solid 3-point shooting tonight to, like you said, help equalize things out. And that was in large part thanks to Grayson Allen in those career-high 8 threes he made. And that is why he is tonight's big, bright, shiny star.
Grayson Allen, I mean, I don't like that picture.
Grayson Allen finished tonight with 26 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. He was 8 for 13. Oh, no, sorry. Yeah, 8 for 13 from deep. Thought I was reading a different one for a minute there. Like that, he was lights out tonight. It was fun to watch. Grayson Allen hates the Chicago Bulls.
Well, that was after we saw his road splits yesterday that Gerald showed us, and he was playing terribly on the road. He was averaging like 7 points, 29% from 3. Yeah, I think those numbers shifted a bit tonight. Small sample size, but they shift big time. 8 of 13 from deep is nuts. I mean, it's as advertised with him. He comes 8 of 13. Hell of a game. 26 points is fantastic. But I'm impressed with the 9 rebounds he got tonight. Doing those little things and helping the Suns win the rebounding battle. Like we saw, 53 to 39. Impressive for him tonight.
It's always a learning experience when you're looking at what's going on behind the Mac and seeing Eric struggle right now.
Dude, the video feed went away after I brought the graphic up, and it's what the heck? Like, where did it go?
His own version of a fourth quarter meltdown right now. And it's pretty funny.
I love that I'm like, there's like a sensor bar. If I go like over, where am I here? Here we go. I'm censored.
Not
there
anymore.
We go. Thank you. Thank you.
I said before the game, I felt like Grayson was going to have a good one. I thought he was going to drop 40. I was wrong. He had 26.
Close.
I'll take it.
Close.
I'll take it. He came out guns blazing. He got a lot of wide open shots. Mm-hmm. Like we can't dismiss that. It's not like he was, creating his own shot or anything like that. He got a lot of wide open shots and he connected on them, unlike some other guys that got wide open shots and did not. So he's definitely carved out a role. I never thought that we might seriously have a discussion at some point. We talked about the Nurkic trade and how much of a better fit he is for the Suns than DA. I would argue that Grayson Allen might end up being just as important moving forward. His defense tonight too. Like he played tremendous defense tonight in the switch, in the pick and roll, manning up, guarding Zach LaVine, guarding DeMar DeRozan. He did a terrific job between him and then KBD. I just thought they really caused a lot of havoc. And for every Alex Caruso, there was the counteraction to that with KBD and Grayson Allen And they needed every little bit of it tonight.
Yeah, I love that Grayson has no fear with that stuff. I didn't know what to expect with him, but he has no fear on the defensive end. And even if he has a bad night shooting, the next night he's that typical. He forgets about it and he's just firing again. And I love that about him. But you bring up KBD. I think it's been a brilliant move to put him in that starting lineup.
I don't know why he wasn't.
I mean,
the whole time.
Well, how did he
I'm sure a lot of it came down to just trust and needing to build that up with Frank Vogel.
Oh, I will say this. KBD, in his time on the court so far, in the last 3 games, it really does surprise you that he didn't get into the game at all the first couple games of the season.
The rotation.
Like, because he is easily in that top 8 in terms of what he could do. He's been hitting that corner 3. He can take it to the rim. He showed that a couple times, especially against San Antonio and then subsequently against Philly. And then defensively, I mean, there was I forgot what play it was. Maybe it was Vucevic that was taking it to the rack, and we all thought he had the layup. Or maybe it was Zach LaVine. I can't remember who it was. But we thought, okay, well, he's either going to get fouled or he's going to get a bucket. And KBD blocked it. And we didn't even think he had a chance at blocking it. It's because his robo arms or his go-go gadget arms just, swatted against the backboard and they took off the other way. His defense has been fantastic.
Yeah.
It really cannot be overstated how valuable his defense is. So happy for him. Because we were all excited when he signed as a free agent here, thinking that this is the type of performances that he could give us, and it absolutely paid off tonight. We just need to see Metu. Come on, Frank. Play some Metu.
We'll
Come on now.
Get there.
I was surprised with KBD. He had the 3 assists too. Like the more you see that guy, he's another do the little things guy. Like he's not having the huge stats right now in terms of points or anything, but he's doing the little things. And when you have the kind of star power this team does, that's what you're going to need most, when they're all together. And I love what I'm seeing from KBD.
Yeah, JT sent us a super chat and said Diop's defense was amazing tonight. And that's really what stood out the most for him. I also think in addition to KBD, maybe just Frank Vogel feeling a little bit more confident in him and KBD probably feeling a little bit more confident in himself to be playing in that starting unit for this team. Yeah. I think Josh Okogie kind of lost a little bit of a step there. He started off really strong this season, but kind of just took a little bit of a step back, which has been a bummer because y'all know me. I'm the biggest Josh Okogie fan out there. So that's kind of been
we all are
sad to see, but it is exciting for KBD to be able to step in. And that's a positive for us all around, is that if a guy does find themselves struggling a little bit at times, there's somebody there who can pick up the slack for you.
Yeah, with Okogie specifically, I think what he's realizing is, first, this team has way more depth than they did last year. And so the stick with him like Monty would do last year probably isn't going to happen as frequent as it did a year ago. Number 2, you got to hit those open threes. I don't care how much you're creating extra possessions from time to time and able to get those dirty rebounds and points. And he did a couple times tonight. I'm not taking that away. You got to hit the open shots, because the open shots are what's going to make defenses, keep defenses honest, especially when you get to the playoffs. And we got to go to the playoffs, and we got to say the playoffs, because that was Okogie's kryptonite last year. He was 0-for in the playoffs. He was basically non-existent because he could not hit that 3 at all, and it killed the Suns. He doesn't want to repeat of that. We know he's been working on that. Hopefully he'll figure it out and he'll get back on track like he did in the first couple games of the season. But right now, you could tell he's trying to find it, and it's lost. And he's not as confident from 3 as he should be. Hopefully he can figure it out.
Well, yeah, you can't play 4-on-5 when it comes to offense. And that's what, when Okogie's not hitting and the defense can cheat off of him like that, I mean, you're already going to have guys wanting to double team your stars. If you make it that easy where it doesn't matter really if you're guarding that other guy, it's problematic. And we talked about it. That was going to be what would keep Josh Okogie out of this lineup if it happened, and we're seeing it. And I think KBD is doing just enough offensively where you have to stay honest on him defense, whether it's hitting that 3 or cutting after kind of showing that you're going to take that three. He's doing enough. Josh Okogie isn't, and that's why we're going to see limited Okogie minutes
for sure. Larry Lewis is in the chat. He did say, guys,
Larry
I was
Lewis?
in there a little worried, but still confident. Glad I had a few Suns fans behind me.
Yes.
Yeah, we saw that on social, so thanks for sharing that and tagging us.
Yeah, we were talking about you earlier in the show. We were wondering if you were in here yet or not. But welcome. Good to see you. Glad you got to be at the game tonight and watch the Suns get a W with a little bit of bonus basketball. All right, guys, before we talk about some additional players from tonight's game and things we saw, just want to remind you guys that Circle K has a free membership program. It is the Inner Circle, and it is the best Inner Circle you can be a part of. There's so many perks. First and foremost, you save 25 cents per gallon on your first 5 fill-ups. You get every 6 free on a selection of Circle K products like pizza, coffee, and ice-cold fountain drinks. So join Circle K's free. Hold on, I got a cough. I'm struggling because I'm trying not to cough.
Join Circle K's free app today, and you can be of the Inner Circle, and you want to be part of it. I saved money today on the sodas I bought for our friends giving, thanks to our friends at Circle K and the Inner Circle app. It was fantastic. And I'm still saving money on my gas, which I'm never going to complain about that.
I mean, they give you 25 cents for the first 5 fill-ups, 25 cents off.
Yeah.
But on top of that, they still give you, I'm getting 5-cent discounts right now on every fill-up after that. So like it's worth it.
You get little like discounts and goodies here and there. It's awesome time. Terms and conditions do apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details. Also, we announced a brand new partner yesterday on the show, but for more than 84 years, Desert Financial Credit Union has been Arizona's largest, most trusted local credit union. They are dedicated to creating exceptional experiences by giving back to the community and providing financial solutions that make lives better. And right now, we got a deal going on, you guys. When you open a free checking account online, you can get $200 in bonuses. So get started by visiting desertfinancial.com/200. Don't miss out on that.
I like Jay's question. How many accounts can you make?
I think you have to have a phone number, I think.
I'm guessing you have to have a social security number, a bunch of numbers that you got to have.
Oh, we're talking about.
No. I believe
I don't know why I was thinking about Circle K.
Either one. I was thinking about Circle K too. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, do my kids really need Circle K right now? Let me use their phone number real quick. You know what I mean?
I don't know why I was
initially thinking $200 in a savings account.
Do my kids need $200? Probably not. I'll go do this. I'm kidding.
Just kidding. Just kidding. Don't listen to us. That is not financial advice.
Jeez. Guys, come on. The FDIC does not approve.
All right. So let's talk, before we get into Nurk, let's talk about Eric Gordon, because a lot of people in the chat are feeling some type of way about EG. How do you guys feel about Eric Gordon right now?
Free.
Monty froze him out.
That Chicago breeze kind of caught Eric Gordon at the wrong time.
That lake effect snow.
Man, I'll tell you what, Lake Michigan does not fuck around.
Oh, what was he? 0 of 8 from 3 tonight?
Yeah. So Nate sent us a super chat. Nate said, EG on the road has been facepalm emoji, 1 of 9 from the field, 0 of 3 or 0 of 8 from deep. Which, listen, we did talk about this yesterday on the show, and there's more on this over at GoPHNX.com. Gerald wrote an article about 7 early stats that kind of he's seeing trend in these first few games of the season. Now, obviously, these numbers are prior to tonight's game, but probably a little bit worse now after tonight's game. So Eric Gordon at home, mostly it's an efficiency thing with Eric Gordon, right? So 16 points per game. 60.6% from the field and 44.4% from deep. That's Eric Gordon at home. Now on the road, 14.8 points per game, 39.3% from the field and 30.8% from deep. Again, after these numbers, I'm sure those have gone down a little bit, but it does feel like Eric Gordon efficiency. I mean, it doesn't feel like it. It is what it is. It's math. Eric Gordon efficiency on the road is boo-boo.
Yeah, it hasn't been ideal. I'm not worried about him. He's a vet. He's going to figure it out.
Yeah.
He's not in his 5th or 6th year. He didn't play at Wichita State. He's going to be fine. Okay, people? Like, let's just chill.
And
let's just chill.
And Eric
what?
Gordon.
In the Cam slander?
No, that's Landry Shamet.
Oh, Landry Shamet. That's right.
He's not going to be asked
shtick.
to do what he's been having to do over the last few games when all the guys are going to come back. It's going to be a little bit easier.
For sure.
His load will lighten. He won't feel as much pressure. Not that he can't handle it because he is a vet. He's a pro's pro. He knows how to. But his life will become a little bit easier.
True.
Well,
just like all the other guys.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, he's playing alongside Josh Okogie, Jordan Goodwin, Yuta Watanabe, and, Devin Eubanks. Not exactly, if he has a Grayson Allen next to him, he's playing more minutes with Devin or Beal or KD. The shots come a little bit easier. Tonight was rough. I mean, you can't sugarcoat 0 of 8 from deep. That's just bad. And they're going to need him to come up with those big shots. But some of this, I wonder if he's a little burned out early too, because he's played a lot of minutes. Where he hasn't expected to play those kind of minutes. He came in expecting to be the 6th or 7th guy, right? Mm-hmm. Playing 24, 25 minutes, and he was pushing the 30s since Booker and Beal have been gone. So maybe this is that's catching up with him, a little bit early on, and it evens out as those minutes go down.
Yeah, no, I get that perspective. Again, I just think that sometimes the older vets, they got to work through some things at the beginning of the season, and they're not panicking because they've been through it a million times before. Yeah. They know it's not always going to be perfect. You could tell he was frustrated tonight. There was a couple times where he was kind of cussing at himself, like, you got to make those shots kind of thing. And I'm not worried about Eric Gordon whatsoever. He's going to win us a couple games at some point this year too. And then when we get to the playoffs, he's a suitable backup. And he's a good bench player. That's what he's been for the most part in the last, the latter part of his career. And with the Clippers too. This is the thing that I'm always gonna rest, my confidence on, is that we saw him play very well for the Clippers, minus Kawhi, minus PG, and he basically had to help carry that load on that side. I'm not worried about Eric Gordon right now. I'm just not.
Yeah. Nate in the chat said, but it's the open threes I'm worried about. Sure. He can't hit the easy ones.
He's going to.
But Grayson Allen struggled a few games ago too. And tonight he had a career high in threes.
I think we have a little PTSD.
We do, which is fair.
A particular player. And none of these guys are that guy. They just aren't.
And they're also not going to be lights out every single night. Like, that's just not realistic. So some nights they will have more of an impact and better shooting percentages than others, but there's going to be ebbs and flows with these guys.
Will they have 17 points in the third quarter one night in the playoffs?
Maybe.
Did I really call him Devin? I'm just terrible.
Who did you call
Drew
him?
Eubanks.
Oh,
I know what their
Devin?
names are.
I mean, Devin
just a rough
Eubanks,
night.
Adam Levine.
I think at this point we just know what you're saying, so we don't even catch it anymore.
Flash Gordon. I don't know. There's all sorts of misnames.
Sorry, all right. Guys, before we talk about Nurk and look at a bunch of super chats, we do have Frank Vogel on the impact that Bradley Beal had on the team in his debut.
Well, Bradley Beal is one of the best players in the NBA, you know what I mean? So he immediately gives that group a lift. And, I just like the way they played. Grayson played really well. Nurk was sharing the basketball when they were delivering the ball to him in the pocket. Keita-based Diop was a really good matchup for us with DeMar DeRozan because of his length. And, Kevin Durant's Kevin Durant. So it was a strong performance by those guys.
So,
yeah.
One of the best players in the NBA.
I mean, he is.
Bradley Beal's going to have a huge impact on this team. We just got to give him a little time to figure it out.
Yeah. Oh, I won't lie. When he hit those first 2 threes, I'm like, hell yeah, this is going to be good.
I was more excited to see what he was going to do on the drive. Mm-hmm. And we didn't really see that tonight. And I don't know if that was just because, again, not really knowing your role or not having that chemistry with everybody else and really knowing when to pick and choose your spots to attack. It just didn't seem like it was there as much. That's what I'm looking forward to on Friday. Assuming he plays on Friday, I really want to see him attack the Laker guards. I want to see him attack Austin MF Reeves, and put him in a body bag. I want to see that. And so I'm excited for that. And it'll be the first time the home fans get to see him too. So he's probably going to have a little bit of extra juice. Listen, Bradley Beal has a prototypical step back crossover that is damn near unguardable. We didn't see that not once tonight. It's going to come back. He's one of the better players at various levels in the NBA. I'm not worried about Bradley Beal whatsoever.
No, and I think Friday's going to be, I mean, there's a lot. Elvaye jerseys, unveiling the court in-season tournament, first time playing in front of the home crowd for Bradley Beal. I think there's going to be a lot of excitement for him, but in general in that building, I expect a different offensive performance across the board, but in particular from Bradley Beal.
Yeah. All right, guys, we've put it off for long enough. It is time to give some flowers to Jusuf Nurkic. We got to give flowers to the big man. He finished tonight with 20 points, 8 assists, and 17 rebounds, y'all. He also had 2 steals. Yes, he had 6 turnovers, but we already talked about turnovers. We're not going to focus on that right now.
Nurk.
Nurk was flirting with a triple-double there. I think I saw somebody tweet out that he's only had it one time on triple-double one time in his career.
Yeah, and it was 10s across the board.
Well,
this would have been a hell of a stat.
This would have been a fantastic. I mean, still is very impressive. And Grayson Allen gave credit to Nurk down the stretch of the overtime, the bonus basketball we got to see tonight, for being one of their primary playmakers out there. Listen, there were points in this game where Nurk was a little bit frustrating, but there were also points in this game where Nurk really came in clutch.
Well, I think that's the full Jusuf Nurkic experience, though. I think there are going to be moments where you're just naturally going to be frustrated because he's a center trying to make these passes, that most centers don't make. Yes. And I think you were right. And I don't remember if this was off air or on air, but sometimes sometimes he has some of those lazier passes. You know when in The Office when Jim does an impression of Dwight, and then at the end of that episode, Dwight does an impression of Jim, and he's just like, that's what I think Nurkic is like with the ball. Sometimes he's just like, take it. He's like, bro, what? And he was doing that in the fourth quarter, but to his credit, he turned the ball over one possession, and then the very next time down the court, he kind of chicken winged somebody and knocked it out, and the Suns were on their way out down the other end of the court. And then he had the game-winning shot. Yeah. So, and overall, I thought this was one of his better performances. If you take out the last maybe 4 minutes of the game and kind of turning the ball over, I thought, he played a very good game. He was assertive down low. He rebounded the ball very well. I just want him to be stronger with the ball. We got the crap beaten at him down low in the fourth and in overtime, and didn't get a lot of the calls until the one with 0.4 seconds that we didn't want them to get. But I mean, it was overall, I liked what I saw. But I think there's just going to be moments where we're just frustrated with this guy in general. Buddha the Schizo in the chat says, "I'm yelling at." That's such a name. That's a great name. I'm yelling at him one moment and then I'm cheering him on the next.
That was literally Saul.
That was me. If we were doing a watch along, you'd be like, "Damn, Saul really hates Nurk." Damn, Saul really loves Nurk. Like it was the full experience.
If you thought that was the full Nurk experience tonight, Espo and I got the full Saul experience too.
I feel like that's the way my dad described me when I was younger. I'm cheering for 1 minute and yelling at him the next.
But Nurk is really getting a lot of love in the chat. Listen, we had a few super chats as well that had Nurk involved in them. First one was from Psycho Blue. Thank you for yours. Said, I told you guys about Nurk, but then also added in, also, I'm done with Eric Gordon point guard experiment. Get a real backup point guard, Matt and JJ. We already talked about the point guard stuff, so we won't go into that, but Nurk did well tonight. Then we got one from Joban. Is that how we're going to?
Joban.
Right?
Joban.
Nurk with the game winner. Let's go. EG just had an off night as well. The refs were trying everything to make us lose, LOL.
Yeah, the refs were awful tonight.
I mean,
they missed a lot of calls.
Yeah. Listen, I don't remember who it was, but somebody in the pregame show brought up the free throw disparity and that the refs were going to have some hometown favors, but I was trying not to believe it, but y'all were right. Shout out to you. What are you mad at chat right now?
Okay.
What are you mad at, Saul?
Super chat by Landon Alverson for $1.99. DA never made a game-winning shot for us. Just saying. Did we forget the value?
Did we not just talk about that earlier?
That was the game-winning shot of all time.
I mean,
can we hold on? Can I propose this?
Sure.
Can we just ban the mention of the former Phoenix Suns center? Like I am sick of the comparison. he's gone. Forget about your ex. Put it away. Burn the photos. Delete the phone number out of your phone. Forget. Just block it out now. It's the ex. We don't need to worry about him anymore.
Yeah, I also think because of the way that DA and Nurk both have ups and downs, and there's a lot of ebbs and flows in the season, is that at any given point in time, like, it's going to drive you crazy if you play this game, because at one moment, like in the beginning of the season, everyone was like, we tried to tell you, Portland, yada, yada, yada. And then just last week, it was like, we got fleeced. Portland stole DA from us. Look at what he's doing.
Portland fans were like, we told you about Nurk.
With both of them, though, there's too many peaks and valleys to do that without giving yourself an ulcer. Yeah. Like, you just can't.
The difference is your ex is high maintenance. The new one, the new relationship you're with isn't. I mean, he makes $16 million. The other guy was a max contract. Enough.
See, Espo, I blame you.
Every time Espo uses relationship analogies, I'm like, oh man.
I'm talking about exes. My wife is not.
This is what I blame Espo for. So in the chat right now, that review guy said, "Nope, my ex sucks, and I need to tell you." Laughing face emoji. That's because Espo made us official Suns therapists, and now we gotta listen about the exes.
Hey,
listen, I get it. I get it.
You and Jay in the chat should go hang out. You both have problems with your exes.
Oh no!
But don't bring your problems to me,
Jay,
because I don't care about the ex
anymore. That's the shade you get, Jay. You know what you did. All right, couple more super chats here. Beast Mode sent us one and said, Saul predicted Suns by 1. Won't forget. That's right. In the pregame show, which, by the way, if you guys are new here, we do a pregame show 30 minutes before tip-off. And Saul predicted that the Suns would win by 1 tonight, and they did just that.
Hold on. How many games
I
in a row?
don't give a shit, Espo.
This is like the 4th game in a row.
This is facts. It is. Adrian sent us one as well. Thank you, Adrian. Appreciate you. Said, glad to see Beal out there. Huge win for the gang. Counting down the days till Book is back. Put him in this game, and we close it out for sure. And then a heart hand emoji.
Hey, and if you want to see Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, and Kevin Durant all play.
Come on, guys.
I'm thinking it might happen when we have our takeover against the Timberwolves on November 15th.
That's
and I
right.
highly recommend you come out, because you're going to get lower level tickets to the game. You're going to hang out with us, which I'm sorry. You're going to get to have great pregame festivities at the Desmond. You and I are. And we're going to have great pregame festivities at the Desmond. Food, drinks. Then we're all going to walk over the arena. It is going to be the best time that you can have at a Phoenix Suns game.
Yes.
Head over to the PHNXlocker.com or go PHNX.com. Get your tickets today. Join us out there.
Flex is in the chat, and he'll tell you all about his back problems. So come out and hang out.
Hey, he'll be the godfather of your kid. Isn't that what we also found out?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, a couple more super chats here. Frank sent us one and said, the Vegas bookies are the best in the NBA. Listen, like, I was asking Espo about this. I'm like, do you think it's now all digital where there's like an algorithm and they've got all the computers doing all the things? Or do you think it's still like bookies and, not bookies, but odds makers and whatnot?
They definitely have algorithms that they use.
But like, how do you get it so freaking close?
It's got to be a combination of the two. Right?
How?
And to me, if I'm going to just start asking ChatGPT what my bet should be in the game, honestly, because there must be some secret I'm missing. Because we're sitting here going, really? It's Bulls 1.5 favorite. We really think this is going to happen? And then all of a sudden, it's a 1-point game. It's crazy how close they get on these. And, I'm sitting there going, oh, it's easy money. Well, it ain't easy money. Yeah. I mean, you still would have won, but it was much, much closer to that line than I thought it was going to be.
We were all surprised earlier today in the pregame show when we saw that the line hadn't moved at all with the Bradley Beal news either. But we did make bets in the pregame show on the BetMGM Sportsbook app. Let's see who won tonight, because it was me. I won. So
that's just the most smug way of just saying
it.
It was me. I won.
Listen, Saul, you down 80 is brutal. So Saul is negative $80 right now. I got an easy dub today. Thankfully, I needed a win because I was like I lost 6 in a row, maybe 7 in a row.
At least you didn't lose 8 in a row.
I know. $20.50 I've got in my bank account. Flex has $37.45 in his bank account.
Slip sliding away,
lost
Flex.
Tonight because Flex, the only thing Flex didn't hit on, he had the spread for the Suns, which was 1.5. And that 1 point game was the winner for me and made Flex lose as well.
He took -1.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
I was
had
like,
-1.5.
he took the alternate spread.
So,
yeah.
I was like, wait, if he took the spread at 1.5, then he won.
-1.5. And thus, why, when Nurk missed the free throw, I got excited because I knew that meant he was going to miss the second and Flex was going to lose.
And when
I love him, my man.
And when Espo got excited, I got scared because that meant it was the kiss of death. And I felt like for sure we were going to find a way to lose this.
But then EJ said, impossible. And then it almost wasn't.
It almost wasn't.
If you guys want to get in on the action, listen, sports are so much more fun when you got a little bit of skin in the game. And right now, BetMGM has a super deal for you, right? So sign up for BetMGM using the bonus code PHNX. You place your first BetMGM Sportsbook wager through the BetMGM Sportsbook mobile app of at least $10. And get this, you're going to receive $200 instantly in additional winnings, regardless of your wager's outcome. They literally want to give you $200, you guys, so take advantage of this. That code is PHNX only on BetMGM. You can check out the show notes for full details, and now you can listen to Shane talk about the disclaimer.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Colorado, D.C., Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Louisiana, Maryland, Mississippi, New Jersey, Nevada, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Wyoming. Call 877-8-HOPENY or text HOPENY 467-369 New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 Massachusetts. 21 plus to wager. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF Iowa. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help Michigan. 1-800-981-0023 Puerto Rico in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. U.S. promotional offers not available in D.C., New York, or Ontario.
Hey, Saul, if you could take that $200 deal, you'd have 120 bucks.
Bro, the chat is roasting you now.
No. Fucking Jeremy earlier said -80 unbothered. Yeah, for sure.
Larry Legend, Saul needs to come.
Saul has a betting problem.
Hey, listen, I'm going to just tell you, be ready for the comeback because I'm coming back.
-80 unbothered is the best one.
That's
for
pretty
sure.
good. I might make that into a shirt.
You might want to wait. You may go lower.
Also, you guys, this episode of the PHNX Suns podcast is sponsored by Illegal Pete's. And right now, Illegal Pete's has some really cool stuff that they've got in the works for you guys. So if you have tickets to a game this season, then head to Illegal Pete's before or after any ticketed event and score a house margarita or draft beer for a single penny with their sound check promo. So this is a super dope deal that Illegal Pete's is putting together. They have fantastic food, delightful drinks, and of course, Illegal Pete's is and has always been your go-to spot for burritos, buddies, and beer. Okay, we have a couple more super chats to read here. Okay, scroll up to the top, Eric. Let's just start this one over. Frank said those Vegas bookies are the best in the NBA.
Yep.
Seriously, though, Frank. Absolutely. Thunderstand sent us one. Starters had turnovers, but our bench was terrible.
Yeah, we already discussed that. I mean, it'll improve.
It will. It'll get better. Don't worry. It'll get better. My Kafka? Is that what we're going with? Mm-hmm. Kafka? Thank you for both of your super chats. We'll read them one at a time. Said, it's a pair character. This is how they describe it. So they sent us a sticker. And this is how YouTube describes it. A pair character stretching his arms forward, raising his thumb up. Thanks. Appreciate it. And then the super chat part was, Book is saving himself for when the Suns are good, which will be on the 15th against the Minnesota Timberwolves.
The Suns are good right now.
Yeah, you know. I mean, yeah, but they'll be really good on the 15th of November.
Leo, we talked about Saul's losing streak, but Leo has a super chat talking about mine. Espo, what's going on, man? Calling Rudy Gobert Rudy Gay, calling Zach LaVine Adam Levine. I still don't think I did that one in pregame.
I don't know.
Now calling Drew Eubanks Devin Eubanks. LOL. I don't know. It's been a long couple of weeks. I don't know. I'm old. How about that? I turned 40 this month.
That's probably it. And then Isai sent us one and said, Beal over Austin any day of the week.
All
with
day.
a smug
Reeves
emoji.
or Rivers?
Both.
Both.
Austin Rivers is
Take
doing
your
TV.
poison.
Yeah, well, of course he is, because his dad works for ESPN now, and the only way he gets a job is to follow his dad. So,
Okay, aggressive.
What you guys, anything else on tonight's game? Final thoughts? Anything we missed that you'd like to bring up?
I mean, a win is a win. That's all I really care about right now. I think these guys are just, again, it's a work in progress. It's going to take 20, 25 games for them to figure each other out and really get into a groove and then really know what they have on a game in, game out basis. And remember, folks, the whole goal is April, May. It's not November, December. So, but this Friday's a little different. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's the in-season tournament, the new court, the vibes are going to be high. People are going to be excited. I feel like you're going to feel that in the arena, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what the court looks like. I'm ready.
well, and point differentials matter too, because the final two spots are going to be based off of point differentials if you're in there. So winning big matters in these. But in a case of tonight, a 1-point win, you're not going to remember that at the end of the year. When you look at the win-loss record, you're just going to remember W, and that's all that matters. Move on to the next one. They're 4-4. They can get over 500 against the awful Lakers.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And just a final reminder that we do have a show tomorrow at 3 p.m. And we really appreciate you guys joining us tonight. We hope you'll join us tomorrow as well.
Hit the
If
thumbs
you
up.
are here, watching on YouTube, hit that thumbs up button. It's super easy. It's quick. And it helps us out a lot. If you are listening to this wherever you get your podcast, rate, review, subscribe. I mean, at the very least, just click the 5-star thing. That's super simple, too. You don't have to do a whole lot. But we appreciate it because it does help us out. Again, thank you guys for being here. This one was actually a pretty fun show. Despite the game having a few little rough spots, I really enjoyed all of you guys being here and the hilarious comments that you were dropping in the chat tonight. And hopefully we get to do it again on Friday. But before Friday, again, we got tomorrow at 3 p.m. And until we see you then, you can give the show a follow on Twitter at PHNX_Suns. You can follow me at Lindsay Smith AZ. You can follow Saul at Saul_Bookman. And you can follow Espo at Espo. Espo, take us home.
Just remember, -80 unbothered can become -90 unbothered real quick. Ahoy, ho!
We all silly like the mayor.